Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and welcome to episode 27 of the Choking Hazard podcast with my usual co-hosts Sugar Free Nos over there.
Howdy.
And RDT down below.
Hello. Happy Saturday.
Of course, that sound. Happy Saturday. I know, first time for the Choking Hazard podcast, not on a Friday. We're on a Saturday.
This is weird.
I know. It feels strange, it does. I've streamed already for 6 hours this morning. We've just been doing our usual Saturday stuff. And the chat are complaining that we're a day late, because of course.
Yeah.
In this episode, we're going to talk about the new DLC for GTA, since we haven't spoken about it yet, the Super Sport Series DLC. We're going to talk about why we're doing the podcast on a Saturday, which doesn't mean anything for anybody listening or watching afterwards. But we're also going to talk a little bit about Nos and his hardships recently, of course.
I want to die.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Lord.
Didn't think it was that hard, but there we go. Never mind, it's even been worse than imagined. And we're going to try a little bit of a different format based on the feedback from the last episode, which is an episode that we specifically wanted feedback from you guys. So we're going to specifically do the choke of the week right at the end of the podcast this time. Move up the order.
So stay till the end if you want to see it.
Exactly.
Watch the whole thing. Don't skip. Don't skip forward if you're watching this on the video. You gotta watch the whole thing.
Or in the case of most people who are listening, you can just end it before we even get to the choke of the week, because you're not going to see it anyway, and then skip to the video portion when you get on YouTube.
There's also a valid option that gives us 2 views. That's excellent. In fact, I prefer that option. Do that. Do exactly that.
We'll be moving up the order of the community questions as well, so that'll be a little bit earlier. We're going to introduce two new segments to the sort of regular segments section, with it being the follow-up from a previous episode. We might have that every now and then, and gaming news as well. So that'll be a sort of regular segment that we do. Since it was so difficult for me to get these guys to actually watch some motorsport, Bruffy's Racing Corner is pretty much dead and buried at this point, but
no, it's gone.
Maybe gaming news we can do.
Rest in peace, Nas Prey. Nas Prey, bro, to the Racing Corner, man. That's,
I'm
gone,
disappointed. I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, well, no one else is, so.
And everybody is disappointed.
No one cares.
No one cares. That's gonna be the word of the day for the YouTube comments for this episode. Hashtag rip Bruffy's Racing Corner.
But now you've already told them, so
yeah, you told them, so they can just end it 2 minutes in. And just
yeah,
like,
I
didn't think about that. Oh yeah.
God, that's the entire point. Whatever.
Okay, well, we'll add something else to that as well, but you won't know until the end.
We'll have an extra separate one.
An extra one for the people who think and listen all the way to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hardcore podcast club.
Yes. All right, so let's get into the first topic of discussion of the latest DLC, since we always give our thoughts about a DLC after it drops. The Super Sport...
Yeah.
No, let's give it its full title. The Southern San Andreas Super Sport Series Update. It's quite a mouthful.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yes.
What? That's the thing? That's the name of it?
That's the full name of it, yeah.
Yeah, the Southern San Andreas Super Sport Series, right?
Southern San Andreas Super Sport Series. It's a bit of a mouthful. It is.
So we started with Beach Bum, and now we're at Southern San Andreas Super Sport Special Galaxy Quest.
Are you sure it's not the Southern San Andreas Super Autos?
Southern San Andreas Super Autos Wait, isn't it? Wouldn't it be the Southern San Andreas Super Autos Super Sport DLC?
Super Sport Series DLC.
Super Sport Series. The Southern San Andreas Super... I need to look this up now, because...
Yeah, that's okay.
To the newswire.
Southern San Andreas Super Autos Super Sport Series. It is. No, it's the Southern San Andreas Super Sport Series. I had it right initially. It's not the Southern San Andreas Autos nonsense. Super Autos.
Okay.
Holy mother of God! What a stupid name. Oh man,
it's already off to a good start.
That kind of just sums up. I guess it sums up the DLC itself, really. But you guys, one of you guys, give your thoughts. What do you think initially of the DLC? Good, bad, average?
I don't play GTA really anymore.
I don't either. Well, I mean, the models of the cars are really good, and they will be very useful for 5M. I really like pretty much every single car that was added. The races are complete garbage, but the cars are really cool. But of course, if you're playing vanilla GTA, we've got to wait until like August until you get whatever car you want. I'm sure, or well, they're doing the drops are different this time, right? Like they're doing multiple cars.
Yeah, they're doing multiple cars at once, but we don't necessarily know when they're getting released. So I'm assuming that they're doing sort of 2 1 week, and then they'll leave it for 3 weeks, and then do another 3 all at once, and then leave it for another 2 weeks, and then do another 2 all at once. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
The chat is correct. What Asker Beanie just said. Can't we just say that about the entirety of GTA Online at this point?
We're not going to complain about the entirety. We're just talking about the DLC today.
Executed poorly.
We know the game is bad. We're just talking about this particular segment of the
All right.
Okay. And the Jester Classic is trash. And I'm not saying that because I don't like the idea of the vehicle. It is actually a trash model. There are like many things wrong with it that already had to been fixed, like the lights and all kinds of other issues. Like it's a terrible model.
I mean,
so people say I'm dropping frames. I can't.
Nas is freezing for me.
Now you're freezing for me.
I mean, RDT's camera is changing sort of between one colour and another colour, which gives momentary drops, and then Nos is dropping all over the place. So if you're listening to this, really you're not missing much by watching it. And if you're watching it on YouTube, you feel free to go and do something else. There's clearly some issue somewhere. But it's a good job this is a podcast that doesn't rely on it's a good job we don't rely on the video part of it, I suppose. But
there's nothing I can do about it.
No. The Jester Classic in particular, I mean, I've heard about all the bad things with the car model itself, but the one thing that gets me is the fact that it's called the Jester Classic.
Yeah, a lot of people have problems with that too.
It's a Toyota Supra, but it's classed as a Honda NSX Classic. Like, what? It makes no sense. And they could have put in an NSX Classic and people would have been happy about it. Just the old NSX, called it the Jester Classic, and then made the Toyota Supra the Karen, I don't know, something else. And I just can't believe.
Karen, here's her car, Jesus. God. Get off her back.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, but I mean, the cars themselves, I think there's some interesting ones in there. You know, taking away their performance and stuff. There's always good cars and good vehicles in all of these DLCs. I've always said this about, you know, the gun running stuff and all that. Even though we don't like the mechanics of the stuff behind it, the actual vehicles themselves and what they create is pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's just the way that everything's implemented is a bit annoying, and obviously the handling flags aspect.
Let's just throw in some new wacky handling flags for no reason. We're just gonna try something new and ruin half the cars.
I know, it makes no sense. Why? I mean, they are literally just testing at this point. They have to be just testing for the next game.
Yeah, but why don't you test in-house? Don't give us your unfinished handling flag garbage, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's
don't test with $2 million supercars and make them ridiculously slow because of it.
Yes, exactly.
But talking about the handling flags in particular, I don't necessarily mind them to a certain extent. I think they're not too bad of an idea to get rid of curb boosting. You know, I mean, whether whether you agree with the idea of using curb boosting, I think a lot of us, even if we use it and accept it, would rather we didn't have to. Just as a general physics thing. But I feel like they just went too far with these handling flags. Like, to be 10 miles per hour slower in the city than on a regular highway road is too much. It should be at least similar. Like 1 or 2 mile per hour either way. So curb boosting will give you either a tiny boost, but it's not really worth it, or it'll slow you down a little bit, but it's not too bad. But to be so much slower because of the bumps, they've just way overdone it, I think.
Yeah, and for this to be effectively done, these handling flags need to affect every single vehicle in the entire game. Like, they would have to go back and redo every vehicle
which
for it
they
to
never
even
do.
make sense. Which they will never do, and honestly, they shouldn't do.
No.
I mean, GTA has been like it is for 5 years now. So, I mean, I think people are pretty, like if we don't want curb boosting, we'll go to a different game, So.
Yeah, it is what it is now. I don't know. It's just, I don't see why they have to do that with these new cars. Like, what's the point? I mean, they clearly have the ability to test these things, and they know what these things do in game. So why don't they just test it themselves and work it into the next game? They don't need to do it for this one. And it has put a huge dampener on the DLC as a whole, I think, because a lot of the cars are just nowhere near as good as they could be, and they just feel weird to drive. They just don't feel like other cars that we used to from GTA. Have you tried any of them, RDT? You see, you're not playing it very much these days, but have you actually tried any of the new stuff?
I bought the Hot Ring Saber, I guess that's what it is, right?
Yeah, the one car that actually isn't affected by these new flags. It
I
does
was
still
super disappointed when I found out that it was a sports car.
Yeah.
That was really disappointing to me. I haven't tried the new Entity. That's what it is, right? It's like the XXR.
You're not missing out much by not trying.
I know, and that's disappointing as well. I feel like the entire, I don't know,
Nos is
feeling
gone.
of this. Yeah, Nos died.
Oh, he's back.
The entire feeling of this DLC is just disappointing.
See if that helps.
Yeah, I agree.
What else did I buy? I feel like I bought another car. I want to get the Mustang looking ass one.
The Ellie.
The Ellie.
Yeah, the Ellie. The Ellie looks nice. Why is it bad as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It suffers from the same handling flags. It's slower over every bump, and it's just. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I want to keep saying the same things that you guys are saying, and but there was no point in adding these handling flags. Just do it in the next game, like you said. There's no reason to test it in this game. Just do everything the same way that it's been for the last 5 years. What's the point? It makes no sense. But yeah, I haven't really had much time to play games anyway. So
yeah, we'll
like in general, it's not just that I don't want to play GTA. It's just I don't have time to play games anymore.
Yeah. We'll get onto that definitely.
Yeah.
So we've got some interesting cars sort of coming, like the Issy Classic. The Jester Classic, as was mentioned, is a nice car itself, but
in my opinion,
the Dominator
like
GTX.
Yeah.
I need
like
to. I'm planning to sort of give them all a go in online, like actually mod them into the game and try them out. Yeah, I mean, again, it does it almost feel like there's too many cars that are all just the same these days. Like, it's too difficult to keep track of everything. I've thought of this a lot recently. I don't know whether it's because they're all shoehorned into the same class. So, like, if there was 20 different classes with all 10, 15 cars in each, they'd have more, I don't know, character to them. You'd be able to distinguish them a lot more. But now, with everything's just slammed in sports or supers, they're all just kind of meshed in there, and I forget about them. I forget the names a lot of the time.
I definitely see. It's not that way on 5M. So like every car has a place, or when we're done, it will. So it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it feels like that's
cars.
not
like everything has a purpose. Everything deserves a purpose. I feel. Yeah, that's. Yeah, we're not going to get into 5M at the moment, but every car deserves a purpose in life. Okay, and we're going to give every vehicle a purpose.
Yeah, I feel like there's like 14 cars that look similar to the Warner or something along those lines. That boxy kind of BMW M3ish kind of, or whatever. I don't know cars that well, but the old BMW looking ass cars with the Warner. I know the Warner's not that, but they all have that same kind of style to them, and I'm like, why do you keep giving us the same car? What is this?
The one of the most notable ones of that was like the Casco, and was it the what's it called? The GT500. Like there's very little difference between the GT500 and the Casco, to the point where people were saying like, wait, haven't we seen this car before? Isn't this just a Casco? Like, it's just.
I don't know. I think it looks different.
But like is it different enough to warrant it, being a completely separate and unique vehicle that, and neither of them have a purpose or a place because they're just slammed in sports classics, which is dominated by other cars.
I mean, in the vanilla game, no, they don't have a purpose and there's no point. But I like the GT500. I think it's a really cool model, and we can, 5M, wow. We can actually use things, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm happy to think differently on that, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of like, it's a bit underwhelming. I think most people are feeling this about the Southern San Andreas Super Sport Series update.
Yeah.
It's not worth the effort to say the name. It's so underwhelming, and the name's so annoying.
Sass.
Just
sass. If the races were better, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. If like Rockstar knew how to make proper tracks with proper banking,
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, what's up with that? What's up with these big NASCAR style races? At every turn, you're just bumping over waves. Like, what is this? You would think something like
every turn.
You would think they would implement some new like prop piece that is flat and
you would imagine
like that.
Just a rounded oval corner piece that has different dimensions or sizes or something like that. You would think it would make sense to do that if it wasn't so half-hearted, but everything is so half-hearted and lazily done. Yeah, the races are so boring. Like, they're not.
Yeah, they're just awful. They're so bad.
But it's weird because
I haven't even done one, and I know they're bad.
I mean, I've done maybe like 4 or 5 or something, but it seems like there's been a lot of comments of people really enjoying them. And
I think people enjoy them because they're profitable, not because they're actually good.
Yeah.
Because they have been extremely profitable with the double RP and your money or whatever. So
but I don't know, maybe it's
been
easy
to win,
sort of
too.
Pushing all the general community of GTA players into a new race game mode that people haven't had for a while. We had the stunt races, and then everybody started doing stunt races. Transform races were kind of a flop. People didn't really go to them, and there hasn't been something where a lot of people have, gone towards a race for a while. And with them being 30 players, if you think about the general population of GTA, this could be a lot of people's first experience of 30-player races. If anybody just does Rockstar created races all the time, there's never been apart from the terrible ones, but the congestion charge and all that kind of stuff. But they're very few and far between. So I think a lot of people have been enjoying them because you can get 30 players in this huge arena, and you can just wipe people out and go backwards and all this kind of stuff. They're the perfect race for GTA, as GTA is played by the majority of people. And kids.
Yeah, it's simple. Those races are the most the easiest thing you could possibly do in this entire.
Yeah, you need no skill to be successful with them. And with Ketchup on and Slipstream on, they're all just a total luck fest. You don't know what's going to happen. But for us who have play 30-player races all the time, who want a bit of skill involved in tracks and make much better tracks ourselves than what Rockstar have put out. I'm not talking about me specifically, but us as a racing community and the creator community on the game. and
yeah, your tracks are pretty bad.
And the ovals that have been created within the creator community are even much better than what Rockstar have created. It's kind of like meh. Why would I want to do these? I do like the hot ring though. I like the hot ring as a car. The hot ring Saber.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's very cool that they put 30 liveries on the car with the intention of you can have 30 different people in a race with different liveries.
Yeah,
So,
that's really nice to see all those liveries on that car, and I want to see that for a lot of cars. But I mean, maybe for the next game or something.
Yeah, and there was a U-Tool livery as well. Which
Yeah,
was,
there was. I was so disappointed there wasn't
good.
a Ron livery.
Yeah, poor Ron. You just get shafted all the time.
I know. We got 2 cars.
Only the analog to the most famous racing team sponsor ever in all of history, and you don't get any liveries.
I know. It's so annoying. All those Gulf liveried cars, all those famous Gulf cars, and Ron gets 2 vehicles in all of these new liveries.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I guess there's not an awful lot really more to say about it. Some sort of interesting cars to a certain extent, but ruined by the implementation of them and testing new handling flags. The stuff that's been released regarding hot ring races are, I imagine, interesting for the majority of people who don't regularly race, but for the rest of us,
So I've popped in a little video that might sum up. It was a video that was submitted for Choke of the Week. I've popped it in the Choke chat if you want to show it. I think it sums
Is this
up.
like a bonus Choke of the Week?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
I just thought as soon as you guys are talking about it.
All right. What about the things that are to come though? Because I've heard that there are. I'm going to play this whilst I'm talking. By the way, yeah, I've heard we've heard of some interesting things to come regarding sort of new creator tools and what's the other game mode? An Italian job style adversary mode. Yeah, that pretty much sums up hot ring races, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then down into 4th. Yeah,
That's dope.
Oh, it was a non-contact race as well. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Lovely. Yeah, I'm kind of somewhat hopeful for new stuff to come to the creator. Supposedly, people know already what's coming to it, but I haven't seen any lists or anything of anything that's been happening. But I don't know.
I'm never going to be hopeful.
You're never hopeful?
about this game.
You don't think we're going to get
Hopeful again.
lamppost removal finally?
We already have lamppost removal in the superior version of the game. So,
So
I'm not.
But that doesn't help the people on the other platforms.
Well, I don't care about them. I only care about
course.
me. That's
Nas is never gonna dance again.
No. Is this it? Are you done with GTA now?
Yeah, I am actually. I'm not playing vanilla anymore. I'm done. I don't want to play it. I'm done.
What about the
I'm
next
so beyond
DLC
it.
that's been leaked? That's going to be a compilation of all the businesses and last DLC, last big hurrah.
Maybe I'll try it, but like GTA is not going to be a regular part of my schedule anymore. Never again.
It's amazing that it's lasted this long, to be honest, from
Yeah,
2013.
But we're not going to get into that. We're not complaining about the whole game.
No.
We're just talking. Sorry.
But
Sorry.
yeah,
That's
that's just how this DLC has made you feel. I think a lot of people have seen this DLC and been like, meh, this has been a bit of a disappointment. But the same time last year, it was the Special Vehicles Circuit DLC. So it seems like they follow a pattern with their DLCs where in this sort of springtime, they'll release a smaller update. And then the next one after that last year was gun running. So obviously the next one is supposed to be, going to be bigger. But it must be on its way out now from an update perspective, as Red Dead is going to, Red Dead Redemption 2 is obviously coming. And resources must be dwindling now for GTA Online. After it being so long. I don't know, they're still making so much money from it though.
Yeah, man. The money keeps raking in, keeps rolling right into the Hauser's laps. Is that who's running it? Hauser?
Yeah,
Dan Hauser,
the Take-Two CEOs and all that shareholders.
Yeah, man.
Well,
He has to buy a second house just to put all his money, like from shark card sales from 13-year-old kids that shouldn't have bought the game. Wait, the game is 5 years old now.
Nearly. I know. Rockstar haven't made another game in 5 years. after
Where has
previously
the
having
time
yearly
gone?
game releases. I know, it's crazy.
It's all
Yeah.
gone. We're
Time has
all
flown.
getting old. We're all gonna die. It's
You know?
really terrible. Life is not good.
5 years down the drain, and
5 years down the drain.
Down the drain. Yeah, I know.
Speaking, I mean, it's not quite 5 years old yet, like 4.5, just over 4.5, but getting there, close. But
what are we, man?
speaking of life going down the drain and terrible time and just being done with
segue.
GTA, is that a nice little segue, Nos, for you?
Yeah, it was great. It made me smile for the first time in 2 months. Thank you.
So the last time we got
sorry.
an update on you was the hopefulness of the Twitch partnership coming through, and I'll let you can take it away.
Yeah,
I
so
guess.
I'll remind everybody what we did. If you were a longtime listener of the show, you will know that at the
At least
beginning
3
of
weeks.
well, no, it would have been the last podcast.
When you started this thing.
Yeah. So in February, I decided, my viewers, I'm getting 60, 70, sometimes 80 viewers whenever I play GTA. They've only got one emote, okay? One emote. That's all they got. Half the time, majority of the time, they don't get any quality options. There's a viewer I know, I'll call him out, Raving. Do you know how Raving watches most of my streams?
How, Nas?
Audio only.
Audio only.
Audio only, because I
Audio
do not
only.
have quality.
Jesus.
Is
Audio
that not
only.
a crime against humanity? It is. It really is.
Why would
AO.
anyone want to listen to you for 2 hours? I mean,
Try 4. But anyway, so we started this push in February, where I was only going to play GTA, and I was only going to play on the schedule, which was Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 6 to 10 p.m. UTC. And in the Twitch dashboard, once you're an affiliate, which I am an affiliate because it's a big achievement, let me tell you, being an affiliate. You have to go through so many different trials to become a Twitch affiliate.
Oh, yeah.
But the path to partnership is 25 hours of stream time in a 30-day period, 12 separate streams in a 30-day period, and 75 average viewers over the course of a 30-day period. We accomplished all of those goals in the month of February. My average ended up being 82, I believe.
82.
82.
With 82 with several streams where I had over 100 viewers for a significant portion of the stream. So after the month, after it said, "You have completed the path to partnership," send in your application now. I'm like, yeah, here we go. People are going to finally get what they deserve. I'm going to give them, better products.
Yes, finally,
I'm not
for all
gonna-
this time.
And I waited a month for a response, and I will read you the response.
It was
now.
a
but
month
that's
that
good.
we talked about this on the last stream, that it was a good thing that you hadn't heard anything. Normally they just give you
Hey,
a no
we're not going to
immediately.
get your hopes up.
Yeah.
They were
So-
getting ready to send you a plaque. They're saying, "Come on, man,
Yeah.
partnership right now."
So, hi, Nos. Thanks for applying to the partner program.
You're
We have
welcome.
reviewed your content and statistics, but are unfortunately unable to offer your channel a partnership at this time. However, we do see that your community is growing and would like to encourage you to continue broadcasting great content and expanding your audience before reapplying in a few weeks. Keep it up, the partnership team. So, basically, I waited a month for Twitch to tell me that I'm not good enough, my viewers are not good enough, and everything you've worked towards is worth nothing to Twitch. And I mean, we talked about this when the affiliate program came out, and there really is no motivation for Twitch to partner anyone anymore.
Yeah. We did talk
There's
about that.
just-
Wasn't it like episode 2 of the entire podcast, if anyone wants to go
Yeah.
back and listen to it? But we've also talked about Twitch stuff periodically as they've changed things and done things. This is what I was it? I can't remember which side I fell on, but I felt like I was on the side of they could just leave you in the affiliate in limbo.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to
Yeah.
partner you now. Then they're making their money anyway. And why put those partnership goals of 75 average viewers, 25 hours, and whatever the other one was.
When the goals don't matter. They just don't matter.
You meet the goals
It's-
and you get nothing.
I mean, I understand case-by-case basis. Like, if I barely creep across 75 average viewers because, I've got a low-cut shirt and I'm a woman, or, whatever other kind of, like, cheap thing you want to go towards. Like, maybe you're only getting it from hosts, right? Let's say that you only get your viewers from hosts.
Yeah.
Right? Or something. Like, I understand case-by-case basis like that. But my viewers come from my content, or at least maybe, I don't know, but mainly my networking and my work with networking with many other people in the community. That is where my viewership comes from. It doesn't come from just straight up hosts. It comes from the people that I have met and interacted with over the course of my Twitch career. So, it's not like, I mean, we make a lot of jokes where I'm just leeching off of people, right? But on some level, you have to be producing decent content for those people you get from leeching to stay around, right? Because if I had a terrible stream, I wouldn't have anybody watching me, right? Or if I was a just completely unlikable person to everyone, I wouldn't have anybody watching me. So there's something redeemable about my content in some respect, I think. Like I said, people keep watching. So, it's just... And I guess I'll vent for a minute, and I'll preface this with, I'm going to say that it was all for nothing, when it most certainly was not. I mean, you've seen my office, you've seen all the great equipment I have, and all the great people that I've met, and everything like that. But in the eyes of Twitch, and in the perspective of, you start here, you start as, 3 viewers, affiliate, whatever, and then you go up. Doesn't matter. And no, I can't see Bruff. Are you laughing at me?
I'm not doing anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the chat's talking about. No idea.
Oh, are you like acting like you're crying or something? I bet that's what you do.
No, when you were saying all the leeching off people and stuff like that, I was just shaking my head or nodding to the opposite point of what you were making.
But it's just. I do put a lot of work in. And February was hard. February was
you
hard.
could tell. I mean, we could tell.
It.
Yeah.
I hated it. I hated every second of it. Every single second of that month. I hated it. I dreaded every stream. I did it in the pursuit of giving my viewers more. Because we talked about this on the partnership, before the month. This doesn't affect me in any way. I still get the same amount of money either way.
Yeah, that's it. There's someone asked that in the chat earlier. Like, if you're wouldn't Twitch have to pay more if they partner someone? And that's not the case, because they pay exactly the same.
For higher tier subs,
higher tier subs, yes, but not very many people sub at a higher tier anyway.
Of which I think I have 3 tier 2 subs and 1 tier 3 sub.
Yeah, so we're talking like $10 more or something like that over the course of a month. They actually, the split between Twitch and partners and Twitch and affiliates is 50-50 regardless. So they're not actually having to pay more to a partner. It's just, that's also a reason why they're not partnering, because you're already an affiliate, you're already bringing in money for Twitch. They have no incentive to make you a partner.
Yeah. I mean, my only. Go ahead.
I think if you have those, the multiple emotes, better quality options.
Is what I was gonna say.
That gives people more of an incentive to sub to you. Like, if you have something that people want, then they're gonna sub to you. If it's behind a paywall, it's like from Twitch's perspective, they have only something to gain and nothing to lose from partnering you. Because people that are already sub to you will stay sub to you, and then people that maybe were on the fence because you don't have that much to offer as far as emotes and quality options, they might be like, all right, now that you have this, I can sub, and then they'd be making more money.
And more money. That also opens a door to yet another goal to push towards, which I know would have been a big deal, which would be more emotes you get, or more subs you get, rather, the more emotes you get. So I could, do this push like, hey, we need to get, so many subs so we can get, if we get this many subs, then we get this emote. And if we get this many subs, we get this emote, and that would have been the next goal that I would be pursuing. And I know for a fact many people, have told me that, hey, I'd come in, gift a few subs, if it was going to something. But
I wish that they would give you a better. Did you reply to that and ask them for more information? Because when I got,
I did not.
When I got, I was
so
rejected
discouraged.
partnership maybe 5 times or something before I got partnered. But the last time that I did, I was more frustrated than the previous ones. The previous ones I could kind of understand, but the last time before I ended up getting partnered, I actually sent another email to them and asked them, can you just tell me, can you give me some more information on what I need to do? What are the metrics that you're looking at that I'm not meeting? What is the actual reason, rather than just this boilerplate response? Just tell me. And that sometimes even asking something like that can help them to see that you want to be focusing on some stuff.
Should we send an email live on stream?
Yeah, honestly, that's not a bad idea.
No, it is.
No, that's standard practice. If you get a rejection, you are allowed to question why they rejected you, and they do give you a detailed response and a bunch of tips to help you sort of progress a little bit more as well. So if anybody in the audience is at that step that they want to go for partnership and they do get rejected, that's something that you're more than welcome to do. You are allowed to send back for more feedback.
Yeah, and I think it also helps them to see that it's not just a case of you're just accepting it and rolling over. You're wanting more information to better your streams. And
yeah, this is a good point. It's but it is quite hard to fight the discouragement.
Yeah, of course.
That I felt. So
it's obviously. I think it feels like it's even worse now that you reach those goals that they've set out and to still not get it. When you see so many other, and obviously it's different for every country will have different internal metrics, and there's all sorts of different people looking after the partnership applications for each country and each area and stuff like that. Like the people who partnered me or deal with partnerships in England have nothing to do with the partnerships in the US, or it's all split up. So ultimately it's there. They may have different things regarding it, but it's that lack of transparency about what you actually need to do. You've reached the goals that Twitch have actually set out, and you've still been rejected. What do you need to do? What more do I need to do?
And I know it doesn't seem too encouraging. Like you said, it's hard to fight the feeling that you're being screwed over by them.
Yeah.
But in a way,
well, in a way, I'm not being screwed over.
Yeah, no, you're not the one that really
are being
cares
screwed
as
over,
much.
which is worse. Which is worse. I mean, these people are the people who support me, and I get to just sit back making my, $150, $200 a month for my hobby and just watch them get screwed over on features. Nothing, it doesn't affect me, it affects them. And that is what makes it so hard to deal with.
Yeah, but, I know this is not something that anyone ever wants to hear, but in a way, there's a silver lining that perhaps you learned something about it, that even though you went and you hit the goals and you did everything right, you still didn't get it. And you sacrificed your own unique personality and yourself to hit those metrics and then still didn't get it. So from now on, I know your attitude from here on out is like, well, if that doesn't matter, whatever I do, according to what Twitch wants to set out as a guideline, I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm just going to be myself and play what I want to play. And that's the attitude that I think will eventually get you partnered.
I completely disagree with that. Okay, because we've been trying the whole let's play what I want to play thing for the past 2 years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's been steady growth, but the streams that were not GTA 5 do not get viewers. They don't.
Not yet.
Don't. So
no, I agree with
not
RDT.
yet.
Realm wasn't built in a day.
I agree with RDT on
but-
that. Yeah, and sometimes
Bruffy was on YouTube for 7 years before GTA 5 came out. Or 6 years, was it? 6 or 7 years?
something like that. but I wasn't really posting actively. I was still making videos for a year with doing nothing before GTA. I got no views, but it was on Gears of War and racing games and stuff.
Just keep grinding, man. Just keep doing you.
I think he's it's a good point, because sometimes it's not even necessarily about just getting in that average viewer number or whatever. If you have 6 streams a week, 2 or 3 of them you get 100 viewers, and then the rest of them you get 50, 40, 30. That doesn't matter. That's good, because you're streaming more, and that's more opportunity for people to find your stream, more opportunity for Twitch to make money off people finding and newly subscribing. The average viewership is just a guideline.
Well, but I feel that you have to complete these achievements to get past their first firewall of
Not
automated
necessarily.
response.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I would not believe if someone other than a Twitch employee told me that they take their time and look at every single application, I would not believe them, honestly.
Well, I mean, if we take GTA Men as a direct comparison to you guys were at similar numbers when you applied for partnership. He was successful, you weren't. They obviously went and checked and went, oh look, GTA Man's got quite a large following on YouTube. That's really beneficial to us, because we can try and get those YouTube people converted over to Twitch. That's a real benefit, So there must be someone looking at some of the background stuff at least,
I've actually found the email that I sent to them after that I got rejected the final time.
Do I get to copy it?
Well, I can read it.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
I mean, at the time, I'm just looking at the stats. I only had 5,000 channel views and just over 500 followers on Twitch.
That's nothing.
No, when I actually got partnered, because this was the last time that I did it, and then I left it for a good few months before I applied again, and that was when I was successful. But even when I got partnered, I only had about 3,000 followers. But again, that was because of the good numbers that I was getting from YouTube. But when I said, it said in the message, if you feel you've been wrongly deferred from the partner program, please let us know why your channel deserves to be accepted. And I said that.
Oh, you get to plead your case? You don't even get to do that anymore.
Well, I mean, you can still send them an email. At least they don't. Yeah. They don't, get you to say that. But I basically just said that the event that I've mentioned in the original message, which was the MCC, had its first round completed today, and the stream went very well. But it basically had around 200 viewers for the entire 4-long stream and peaked at 322 viewers. Also increased my followers from that one stream. I'm going to be streaming this event all the time, more events, all that kind of stuff. And what is that? What is it that I'm not doing that is not good enough for you? And basically the response was that the viewer numbers were really good. It's just that I wasn't streaming enough on Twitch. Do you have plans to do it more than 3 times a week or whatever? Which I said yes, but then it was ages. I still got rejected from that. They didn't exactly just partner me because of that. But even though I had streams that had 200, 300 viewers in them, they were still rejecting me. But then later on, I was still, when I actually applied, I was still having streams with 200, 300 viewers, and I got partnered. So it's not that you have to make anything majorly different. It's just if you can change a few tiny little things based on what they're looking for, and that's why you send an email to ask why you were actually rejected, what they're looking for, the metrics that they're looking at, then you can stay doing the same thing that you're doing, but you'll just magically flick that switch that they're looking for and you'll get partnered for doing the same sort of thing. It doesn't have to be a huge change where you're bringing in double the amount of viewers and all that kind of stuff. So you need to send an email and ask them specifically.
Well, let's do this live on podcast. Let's send this email live on podcast. Let's do it. Dead serious. Let's do it.
All right. Well, chat.
Yeah, just copy and paste exactly what.
Yeah,
him or what
I
A to the
think I'm
J.
gonna just copy paste what A to the J said.
A to the J.
I'll start. Partner review team. I appreciate your response to my partnership request, but was hoping I could get a better idea of why my application was rejected. I feel that I met all of the goals set forward in my last request, and I smashed those goals like I would smash your girlfriend. GTFO, give me my partnership.
Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect.
Yeah. That's completely.
That's gonna get your partnership. That message from A to the J.
Yeah. Seriously though, I'd maybe wait until after.
Until you actually smash their girl.
Just to give it a little bit more thought.
You're no fun.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm old.
Do it later.
And that could be a thing. Like as Bayman just said, maybe Nossa's 3 streams a week weren't enough. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be about averages. If you do 3 streams a week where you're averaging 75, but then you do another 3 streams a week that are less, I think that might even be better than having just 3 streams a week. 6 streams a week with multiple viewers.
Do you think I'm some kind of robot? Like,
no,
I'm
but
not
I mean,
Friendly Baron over here. I can't stream 6 hours a night every night.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, I was streaming 2 or 3 times a week when I first applied, and that wasn't enough for Twitch. They wanted more than They said in that email that they generally only consider people for partnership who are streaming 3 times a week or more. So, especially if there isn't that outside aspect of a YouTube channel, they want to see partners be streaming more regularly, 5 days a week, full-time sort of thing. I would say it doesn't have to be for 6 hours at a time. It can be 2 hours at a time or something like that, but maybe that's something. But I don't know, it's good to write an email always to find out what has been just we'll get some more information. But yeah, bit disappointing though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is disappointing that, I can have 70 viewers and people are still forced to watch me on audio only because their internet isn't good enough.
It's more of a shame for the people who are watching your content regularly.
It's a shame that I have 70 plus subscribers and they only get 1 emoticon.
Yeah.
I don't feel that's right.
No.
So.
And you could say that. You should say that in your response email.
I did. I said that in my application.
Okay.
I mean, I could read you the application if you would like.
No, that's
Please
fine.
don't tell me. Please don't say in the application you said I don't want to do this for me. It's not about me. You should have said it's all about you, Twitch. I'm gonna bring in the subs. You're gonna make the money. We're gonna run this whole game, dog. That's what you should have said. They were like, oh, hell yeah. I'm going down to Alabama. We're putting our headquarters in Mobile. We're about to hook up to this kid's trailer. We're going to give him a golden toilet seat. God dang.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. You should have said that.
That seems excessive.
But anyway, I think that's that topic done. I mean, it's a real shame. It's a real shame,
Well, it's not the end. You'll keep streaming and you'll get it eventually.
No, it's definitely not the end. I'll stream as long as I enjoy it. Or as long as and to that thing, as long as people are watching as well. Because I mean, I'm not going to enjoy streams with no one there. Yeah. So, as long as people are watching and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I'll continue this hobby. But that's I posted on my Discord my main thoughts. But this is a hobby. It's going to stay a hobby. We'll just keep playing, old PS2 games for 15 people, and, that'll be about it for a little while, until Red Dead Redemption 2, I guess. And then maybe we'll try it again.
Yeah, well, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes.
But
and we'll keep everybody up to date on the podcast, of course.
I'm still making great money for a small hobby, so...
Yeah.
Speaking of making great money.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say great money.
Ooh.
But my segues have been a bit...
That's a good segue.
Alright, though, right? Tonight. I've been on point.
Your segue game's pretty good.
RDT, this is the reason that we are doing this podcast on a Saturday. RDT has a new job.
I'm a working man.
You are a working man. Congratulations for getting a job.
Thank you.
Becoming a responsible member of society.
Yeah, I don't know how they let me do it, but they do. They put their trust in me. Yeah. Um, I I was employed. I started my first day of work on March 26th, which was 2 Mondays ago. I work for a company called Condé Nast. They're like a publishing company. Maybe you've heard a couple of their brands. They got GQ, Vogue, Vanity Fair, Bon Appetit, Wired, Pitchfork. Some small little publications and stuff.
I don't
And,
recognize
and
any
you
of
come on the
those.
podcast looking dressed like that. What's happening?
Man, I still gotta appeal to the commoners,
wearing a
bro.
Gucci suit or something?
Still
Commoners.
gotta appeal to the commoners, man.
The
Man, come
commoner.
on, man, bro, come on. But yeah, I work in the digital marketing department. So basically, all of their like websites and videos and all that, I approve of deals based on what different companies and clients want, how they want to advertise on the websites. So yeah, I'm like the last line. I get to be like, nah, you need to charge more to Gucci. You need to get Gucci to give me that money. Not really. I don't know how in depth I can go with it in case somebody watches. But, I'm not going to go into my specific what goes on. But yeah, it's like I get to tell people yes or no on rates and how much we're charging certain companies on that. Yeah, it's really interesting. I work in the World Trade Center and
really?
commute to New York.
Whoa,
Wow.
really?
Yeah, the new World Trade Center, obviously.
I bet that's pretty cool to walk into in the morning. Like, I've made it. Like,
It's like I get to
I
look
have
out.
arrived.
I get to
have
look
peaked.
out and I can see the Statue of Liberty from my office. It's pretty dope.
Wow, that's
It's
cool.
like,
Wow.
yeah.
Can you see like the
so
New York
that's-
skyline, or are you on like the wrong side of all that?
Well,
or-
he's
Bro,
in New York.
I am
Yeah,
the
he
New York
is the
Okay.
guy.
New York guy.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm right in downtown Manhattan.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's why I pretty much haven't been able to play games, and that's why we're not doing this on Fridays anymore because I work 9 to 6 every day.
See, this is the thing, isn't it? You don't have time to play games when you work. Like, I have so many games I want to play, but because I'm too busy working and making videos and doing GTA stuff, I can't play anything else. People don't understand. When you get a job,
Yeah,
you don't have the time anymore.
yeah. I mean, a lot of it has to do with my 90-minute commute. So
Yeah, that's pretty big. Where are you going from and to? Like,
I'm from Jersey, going to New
Okay.
Jersey to obviously not Jersey in England. But,
no.
I'm commuting all the way from England to New York every day. But yeah, after a couple months, I want to save up, and then I'll get a place much closer, either in like northern Jersey or New York or something. So, yeah,
You're living in New York. You'll have to save up for a couple years, from what I've heard.
not too bad, especially if you have roommates. I'll try to get roommates and whatnot. But yeah, it's really cool, and I hope that
I
they
can commit
keep me
$200
on
bucks a month. Can I move in with you?
I don't know. You want to move to Brooklyn? Let's do it. Come on, man.
Yeah, I got a family member who lives in Brooklyn. I just go, you know.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah, he
choking
lives in,
hazard house
Yeah.
The choking hazard house.
in New York.
Yeah, in New York, we can set up our own. Well, I don't know if there's any floors for rent in the World Trade Center, but we could try it. We can see if we can rent out a floor.
Could you imagine you're the office owner of a floor of the World Trade Center?
For this, just for this little
That
stuff,
sounds like a porn.
for this terrible podcast.
Just a gigantic floor of a whole building, and in the middle are 2 desks and a computer. Podcast. That'd be hilarious.
Hey, what do you guys do up here? We complain about Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah,
Really?
200 people.
That's it? Yeah, that's it.
So,
So, yeah, that's,
have you always
my
been
latest.
based in Jersey?
Yeah, born and raised.
So I thought you lived in Philadelphia.
That's where I went to.
Oh, that's where
college.
you went.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, you know nothing about this man.
I don't. I got it confused. I thought it was the other way around. I thought you were from. I don't know.
No,
No. Okay.
That's where I went to college. I've always been a big Philadelphia sports fan.
Okay.
So, like,
See, that's probably
There's
what caught me off guard.
yeah, when we started the podcast, I was still living in
Mm.
Philly. I was still going to school. So, yeah.
Okay. Well,
That's
that's
why.
good that you've gotten a job without having to move first, and now you can wait and find somewhere you know, when you've got some money and stuff like that.
Got some money in my pocket. Yeah, now I can really step up the apple juice minutes.
Oh, yeah?
Now that I'm making real money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Looking forward to that at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
And you know, these events that I've been talking about when we were over in TwitchCon for the Insomnia Gaming Festival over here, you can come to those now. Since you got the green.
I could. I got my degree. I got my job. I'll be making money. I'm gonna have some savings. Have some vacation time next year. For I-62, people will be like, "What are you? I-64, five? What it be? Yeah, 5." People will be like, "Oh, cool. Where are you going? England? Why? Talk video games. What?
Yeah,
For
under
what?
your breath.
No, just say it's business. It's
Business.
Yeah, business. It's
Honestly,
a business meeting.
Honestly, that's what it's like working in a big company. When you say like your hobby is video games, they're just like, "Oh, yeah,
Oh,
my son
cool.
plays Minecraft."
They see you as they
God.
immediately see you as that little kid playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, don't
Oh
mention.
boy.
Don't mention
Yeah,
it.
never.
But good job.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This is interesting, you know, how the
Very good
podcast
job.
is from where we started.
You're like successful. I feel so much worse about myself now.
No, you'll get there.
No.
Don't worry, you'll get there.
You're more successful at streaming than I am.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's about to change. You're gonna have money, and then you'll have a setup, and then you'll have good quality, and then you'll be better than me, and you'll get partnered before me, and then I will actually end it all. So,
Well, it's going to be fun, you know, if we
Anyway.
keep doing this podcast in like 5 years and we'll see where each of us have gone.
yeah,
the order
we'll
of
see where we end up. I'll
Yeah.
be right here.
it. Poor Nos.
but you
Poor
won't age a
Nas.
day. You'll still be our beautiful
Yeah,
man.
I'll still look 12. I'll be 45. Now you don't look a day over 15. You dye your hair gray.
So the sort of next segment that we would have normally here is feedback from the last episode, but I feel like we've already covered that because we're changing up the way that things are moving. We're changing up the order of things. Oh, the thing that feedback being the guests and things like that, because we were discussing on the last podcast about our frequency of guests and whether people like it just with us or they specifically like them with guests. And I think the majority of the feedback that we got from that was that people like that mix. They don't necessarily like it where it's all guests. They don't like it where it's all us. So we're going to try and keep to that. And generally, you know, not leave it too long without having a guest. Not leave it too long without having a podcast where it's just us, you know, chatting about nonsense. So that's the way that it's going to go moving forward. And like I said, you're seeing the changes in this podcast in the order of the way that we're doing things with these new segments as well. The gaming news segment that we're going to come on to. The community question is going to be a little bit earlier. I'll say that now, actually. If you want to get one of your questions in for the podcast, feel free to get into the phone bank on Discord. Regulars,
Yeah, get
Patreon
in.
spotters, and Twitch
Ask those
subscribers can
questions.
get access to that.
You have a question, you have feedback, you know, whatever. Get in that phone bank.
Yeah, let us
We'll
know.
get you on the phone.
So we're going to do the phone bank section, the community questions section after we've done the gaming news segment, and then we'll move on to the two classic regular segments of the Apple Juice Minute, and we'll finish up the podcast with the choke of the week, because
Choke of the week.
obviously some of the feedback from that was that people who are just listening to it, you know, you can't see what's going on, so we'll put it at the end. People can either stop listening if they're not interested, or they can stop at that point and then go and watch it on YouTube later on. But it's better to do it that way than, you know, sort of break up the podcast or the listening experience, I guess. So, gaming news. This is going to
Hold
be our
on,
new
I
segment.
got some pretty good feedback on the
okay,
last
go
episode.
for some feedback first.
Well, I've gotten some feedback. I got a good compliment from a young gentleman, and he says that I am a pretty dyke. So that's that was some pretty good feedback, and I am very appreciative of this man. I just wanted to get that compliment because you know we got some really good feedback on the last episode.
Don't
I
feed
didn't
the
want that
trolls.
No, I love the trolls. They're fun. They're funny.
Not
Oh my
wrong.
God.
I'm just kidding.
God almighty.
I think what someone said something about think it was a Deviator. Mr. Deviator. I gotta find it now. Now Nas has me scrolling through.
Yeah, we'll actually go through the comments live and take the feedback from the
Listen to every
comments.
episode. Liked every episode's topic. I like that it introduced me to other personalities like Josh and Moose and Gentlemen. Yeah, that's good. This is where it kind of goes off the rails. I personally don't like the Apple Juice Minute segment, but I can easily just skip it as I'm always listening when this YouTube version comes out. I was like, all right.
Oh,
It's not stopping. It's not stopping, Deviator.
Never, ever getting rid of the Apple Juice Minute at this point. As long as you're on the podcast. And that was the thing, like, we didn't know if we were going to be able to continue the podcast with you, given you've got a new job, and would the timings work out? Obviously, can we fit it in at any time? But we've got it. We're doing it. You're still here. Apple Juice Minute remains. That's how it is.
I'd said that I was totally cool with you guys going on without me, but you were kind enough to fit it around.
I
and,
wasn't cool with it. We made it happen.
So, gaming news. Hopefully this is a segment that will last a little bit longer than Bruffy's Racing Corner. I'm going to be salty about that until the end of time. You know that, right? Star Wars Battlefront 2. We talked about that quite a while ago, and they've with all the terrible loot boxes and whatnot.
Hey, do you remember that microtransactions are bad? Does everybody remember that?
Well, this is
reminding you.
they've changed the whole entire game now, and they've updated it. Loot boxes are no longer a thing.
Oh, how nice.
They've put transactions in, but they're only for small cosmetic items, so that's the only thing that you can get from it. Everything is progression based. All the heroes have been unlocked that were previously...
Everything's unlocked.
You had to spend 40 hours to do it. So, it's now actually a proper game.
It's a real game now.
I mean, it's too late, I feel.
But exactly right. It's too late. It's too late. If they'd released the game at that state, I probably might... I would have bought it and checked it out. I would have.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a good game. I have it. It's good.
Have you played it much?
I've played it a decent amount,
Yeah.
to the point that I unlocked a lot of heroes, and it didn't take me 40 hours per hero. It wasn't like, because they changed that as well. They made it so you can get more credits, or they lowered the amount of credits,
the first thing that they did when they disabled microtransactions was make the whole game less of a grind. That just underlines how much of a grind they had to make it to make loot boxes more appealing. But it's for me, from everything that I've seen about it, it looked like it was a good game. The visuals looked great. It looked fun.
Oh, stunning! Yeah,
but I was just never
It's
going
really
to check
fun
it out
if you're
because of
into
the nonsense in it. I don't want to be a part of that. But if they'd released it
it's a
as it is
shame.
now, then I would have played it. So hopefully, maybe the next one. Maybe they're starting to learn. Loot boxes are a step too far. It's not the way to go. Hopefully, we can hope.
Introducing Star Wars Battlefront 3 with, loot box again.
Probably.
That's probably what's going to happen. Let's be honest here.
And also Shadow of War have released, gotten rid of all of their microtransaction-y type stuff in that game.
Now that
did
one
they?
is way too late.
That's way too late. Yeah,
That's
Way too
entirely too late.
at this point, it's just more of an insult. They've already made all of the money that they're going to make from it, and they've just removed them to try and get a bit of good PR. That's essentially all they've done. They've already made their money from it. It's like, do this for when the games are released, not afterwards, not 9 months, 10 months down the line. But
yeah, and especially from a game that it's the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, which was more of a sleeper hit.
Yeah.
Like
It was a good
people,
game.
it was a good game. I haven't finished it or played all the way through it, but it was kind of like a surprise hit, and
it wasn't
they were
exactly
going
a
off the
mainstream
success
game.
of that.
Yeah.
And so with all the bad news about Shadow of War, people already didn't buy it, and now they're not going to be like, oh, I wonder if microtransactions were taken out. Oh, I'll buy it now.
Yeah.
Like it's over. It's over for Shadow of War. I'm sorry to break it to you.
And I don't know, but just they must have had to change the end game of that game, because everything that I've heard about that game is that it gets incredibly grindy at the end to get this sort of true ending or whatever, and that was done obviously on purpose to, make people spend money on microtransactions to quicken that up, because it's just a grind fest, and that sort of thing just goes to the point of when people, you can't have people say that microtransactions don't affect games, because they do, because it changes the way that the games are designed to make you want to pay for them. If they didn't affect games, there'd be no point in putting them in the first place, because no one would buy them. So, like I said, when Battlefront 2 completely had to change the progression and the reward system because they got rid of microtransactions to make it less grindy, that's another point. That just goes to show that. But hopefully we're starting to see a bit of a change to microtransactions and loot boxes, at least to a certain degree.
Meanwhile, over in Rocket League, they've just released another crate, and still nobody gives a fuck. So that one's still flying right under that radar. Nobody cares.
Oh yeah,
Still flying
Rocket
right
League
under the radar.
Rocket League's quite egregious with it, isn't it?
Nobody cares.
Nobody's talking about it.
Hugely gambling-based mechanics in it. It's not pay to win. It's all cosmetic, but it's still gamble central. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
But
I still don't care.
I really don't care about it.
But it's the same thing with like GTA. We see that they announced they give the laser for 6.5 million, which we can all see is just a cash grab. But because the games are so old, they don't get the same. They don't get talked about as much for these terrible practices, so they can get away with it.
But Rockstar that's a completely different. We've covered this topic several times. The Rockstar microtransactions and the Rocket League microtransactions are wildly different.
Yeah,
Rockstar is borderline pay to win.
there's no sort of loot boxy gambling elements to the GTA stuff. But my point being that it's such an old game that people don't talk about it as much when bad things happen like that.
The way I see the I mean, it's not a perfect example because there is some skill to it, but the way that I see the Rocket League microtransactions is like a claw game. You see something you like in a claw game, and you pay $1 to try to get it with the claw. You see a car model that you like, and maybe you get it, maybe you don't. I understand it's gambly, but you still get something, and that's why I would never try to. I have opened crates in Rocket League because there was stuff that I wanted. There are ways to trade in Rocket League. You can trade with people if you want something.
Not to mention decryptors as well, and which there's a limited amount of them, but you can open boxes without money.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
sure.
Event.
I'm sorry, I can't get behind any of their practices in any.
Like I wouldn't open a box filled with like it has to be a majority something that I would use. I wouldn't open a box just based off, I want this one car in here, like, because I know the chances are that I'm not going to get it. It's like it's all cosmetic.
Yeah,
people have the cars that they want.
That's you. Yeah, there's lots of other people that would be like, I need that car at all costs, and I will open as many boxes as I can to get it. And sure, there are different ways. Of course, there are different ways to trade for it, but of course, because the rarity of the item is so high, the way that you have to do that is you have to go and buy lots and lots of keys and trade them for that item because it becomes very hot at the start of the crate run. So I mean, it's just a horrible practice, and I don't know why more people aren't complaining about it.
I hate loot boxes in all shape of always all implementations of loot boxes. I can't stand. But we're getting off topic. Anyway, Battlefront 2 changed things. Shadow of War changed things. Hopefully, we're starting to see some things better, but clearly by the source of Rocket League, not. Modern Warfare 2 remaster is coming.
Yeah, the one of the most acclaimed multiplayer games of all time, and we're gonna remaster it without multiplayer. Isn't that just the greatest idea you've ever heard? Is that not the best thing you've ever heard? Hey, remember that game you played when you were 12 for 3,000 hours on multiplayer? You remember Noob Tube? No, we're just gonna remaster the story. It is ridiculous.
Oh,
it's ridiculous.
And I think the best theory for that is that they're going to add multiplayer and say, we listened to the community and heard your voice. Like,
Yeah, and they'll add microtransactions along with it, and all the DLC will be
Yeah.
separate, and you'll have to pay extra
oh my
for it.
God.
No
it's
doubt.
just the stupidest thing I've
I know.
ever heard of. But one of the most acclaimed multiplayer games of all time. One of the most popular ones, and we're going to remaster it with
Wait,
no
Gil-
multiplayer.
Gil Viper, what are you talking? What were they going to remaster it with no Russian or something in it?
Oh, are they going to remove No Russian too? One of the
Is
most
that what they're doing?
iconic video game missions ever created that
What?
is special.
I
and
never played the
important.
game. Can you tell me what that is?
You've never played Modern Warfare
I've
2?
never
You've
played
never-
any
what?
Call of Duty. Really.
Should
I
we
don't
tell
like
him
them.
what No Russian is about? And the point of No Russian?
Okay. Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you want to
sure.
explain it?
Adit's
Okay,
too stunned
so-
that I haven't played Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I'm pretty stunned. So there is, on the surface, it seems like a very a brutal, terrible mission. The premise is you start out, you come up in an elevator, and the main antagonist turns around and goes, "Remember, no Russian." Like so that people don't know that they are Russian people doing this.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
And you go through an airport mowing down innocent civilians. It's terrible, brutal. And you get towards the end, you're fighting cops and you're getting away. And just as you're about to get in should I spoil it, Nas?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's a 12-year-old game,
right? Yeah, don't worry.
It's like 15 years
Just
old.
as you're getting into the van, the antagonist turns around. And he's like, "I know you're a fucking spy," and shoots you in the face, and then that character dies. And like the entire point was to, who did they blame it on? Who the Russians blame it on to make it seem? It's like the idea was to make it seem like a terrorist attack by some other nation, and he knew that you were the inside double agent the entire time.
Okay.
And they identify you as like the American, right, in this foreign land. I haven't played in so long. I need the remaster, obviously. To play it.
Well, obviously not if they're not going to include that
well,
mission.
yeah, they're not going to have this mission.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True.
Oh,
Yeah. Then
man.
Russia invades the U.S. because it was in Russia.
Right.
that-
Okay.
Yeah, the Modern Warfare campaign is very good to play through. It
But
really
why would
is
they
good.
make the game without the multiplayer? It makes no sense. Like,
Yeah,
surely
I
that
mean,
was the whole
multiplayer
point.
is the most important. Yeah, it's silly. It's just silly. It's very
Yeah.
silly.
Ah. Okay.
Activision,
I know. Unbelievable.
Ramirez,
Ramirez, do it.
go blow up that tank with your spit. Do it. Oh, God.
Right. So, let's move on to the community question, shall we? Because
We weren't going to talk about
wait,
the
you don't
oldest
want to
news
talk
in the
about
book.
Drake playing with
Well,
Ninja? What
Drake
great
playing
gaming
Fortnite.
news.
I was.
Wow.
It's been a while since that happened, and I put it in there as a suggestion, but I didn't know
And
if it was
since
relevant.
then, Ninja used the hard ninja instead.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I didn't
Ninja.
actually see anything regarding that, but
The hard ninja.
the hard ninja.
Oh, I used the hard ninja.
But the reason that I put it in the gaming news segment, like, is just because it's crazy how Fortnite has exploded.
Yeah, really.
Like, Nas has gone. Nas has gone about the hard ninja.
Oh god.
But then, yeah.
Woo.
Anyway.
My ninja. All right, community questions.
See, this is why I figured we shouldn't talk. God damn it. This is the moment. This is as soon as we get to like the hour mark or so, the podcast just descends into anarchy anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man.
MB Hammer, do we have any community questions?
Yeah, we do. We've got one, and it's from Mr. C. Balbuena. So compose yourself.
No, I can't.
Hello, caller, you're on the Choking Hazard podcast, and on this podcast, we can guarantee you that we will never use the hard ninja. Who's your question for, and what's your question? Seaball, are you here? Are you on the line? Are you going through a tunnel or something?
Must be a tunnel. That's what it must be.
Yeah, it must be a tunnel.
Must be a tunnel. We got some interference.
He must be using Sprint instead of Verizon. So.
Verizon. Can you hear me now?
Right. Anyway, that was community question.
Okay,
Thanks.
great.
Thanks for the
You
question.
Great.
didn't know his question, Hammer. So you can ask it
Our
for him.
new format is going very well.
I can ask his question for him. So
Well,
that's just
I
me
have a
back
writing
into
question
it.
as well that I could.
For God's sake,
ask
we don't do
for us.
writings anymore. We don't do them anymore.
No, we
What
do
was
when there's
Seaball's
not many
question?
people.
I want to do Seaball's question first.
Well, I was
Okay.
thinking to give him time to come back to ask it himself.
It's too late.
It's too late. Okay.
Okay,
Too late.
so Sibal Buena's question was: do you think the new handling files will be updated further in the next release?
No.
Question answered. Next question.
Even the next release of the game?
No, in
No,
the
the
in
next
the,
DLC,
the
I
forthcoming
imagine.
updates. Yeah, so people aren't too happy. People aren't too happy about the way that some of the cars are handling with the new handling files. Do you think that Rockstar will do any sort of fine tuning
No.
and finessing based on people's
Nope.
feedback?
No,
Nope.
no.
They
They
never
never
Next
do.
question.
Good question.
They never
What's-
do.
what's your right-
They just leave them in. They never touch the cars after they've been put in unless there's a bug on them. So, no.
Yeah.
That's it.
The only thing I could see them doing is
Well,
getting rid of it. Getting
Yeah,
rid of
really.
it, having people buy the entity, and then putting it back in so that they're slow, so they sell the entity, and then taking it away again so that they buy the entity, like they done with Downforce.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't think your statement's accurate. The last time that they updated anything to do with the handling files, they added downforce in, and look at the amount of tweaks that's had over the releases.
Yeah, but
know.
that was they never changed the downforce values for any individual car. They changed the overall effectiveness of downforce, so it affected all cars that had it. But these handling files,
in the same way, they can change the way that the handling files apply to, apply in general what they actually do. So
It's possible.
Right,
possible.
that's
Extremely
Anything's
unlikely.
impossible.
But the question is, do we think they will
62
do it?
years
And the
ago.
answer is no. I do not think they will do it.
yeah, I agree. It's possible though, but I would say like
Anything
10
is
to
possible if you
20%
believe hard
likelihood.
enough, except being partnered on Twitch. So
I'm not entirely certain they know they wrote those handling files at all, flags at all. Yeah, fair point, Thomason. Fair point.
Do you know when they first came out, I thought it was quite like, like the people that did the original core handling files and whatnot, they've all moved on to Red Dead, right? So you've got this little team of interns, and one of them goes, "Oh, it'd be really good if we fixed this thing. I'm going to go and ask the guy in the Red Dead team how I would go about doing this." And he tells them, explains it at length, but the intern doesn't fully get it. And
Yeah.
then goes ahead and does his own thing.
Yeah,
That's
and it
kind
ends
of
up
what's
having a
happened.
worse effect than what it would have had in the
Yeah.
first place if they just
Yeah.
left it normally. Yeah, that sounds legitimate, like something that could happen. That's true. IDT's
So,
gone.
writing
Goodbye.
question.
So yeah, writing question was from X Spider, but I'm gonna have to. He would have been able to call in yesterday if we'd done the podcast, but obviously because it's today now, so
rip.
he sent me it on Discord. But he was wanting to ask about accents and specifically.
Oh, he
Like
sent that to me
C.1 as
too.
accent?
He sent that to you. Yeah.
Yeah, he sent that to me too.
But just generally, I guess you two being American, what do you know
Howdy.
of and make of different accents in the UK and your own country, I guess? Do you even
I love-
recognize
Exact-
different accents?
exact-
Specifically
Of
mine.
course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, not
between like
spec-
yours and someone from Liverpool or something. Like if I listen to Darren Till talk, it sounds like he's got peanut butter on the roof of his mouth. He's an MMA fighter, but like obviously, I mean, it's not England, but it's the UK, and Hammer doesn't sound anything like you. So, the thing that I always get upset with is when people mistake Irish and Scottish, like when they
Yeah.
can't recognize which one. I'm like, how do you not recognize this? The
Yeah.
They're
difference.
all
know,
sing-song voices. That's all the same.
You're all
Do
communists.
you know what? Do you know what always gets me is when you see a show that's been imported from the US and they've got a British person on it and they're subtitled. That cracks me up. It's like the accent really isn't that bad. You'd really struggle if you came over to the UK and you had to have subtitles for.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Jersey's funny. I'm sure Nas, you experience it in Alabama as well. The difference between, like, hey, how you going down? You going down there to beat me?
over there and say,
When we go down and beat, like, and then
no
there's
word.
you.
If you think my accent is bad, you should really come down here. You will not be able to understand anyone because no word is complete.
No word is complete.
Like here,
Okay.
somebody old man.
But that's kind of like how it is in the northeast of England. Like everything is very lazy. You miss off the ends of words. Like no word is complete, and it's just like I speak more properly than what most people do around this area, because just to make myself understandable. But
Yeah.
is there a noticeable difference in accents between states, like, or is it more of a south, north, east,
Regions.
west more sort of thing? Like in the UK we've got a small. The UK is tiny, right? But there's so many different accents in that tiny little area. So to expand that to America, it feels like there would be like hundreds of thousands of accents.
I think the Northeast is like that. Would you say, RDT? I mean, you've got Jersey's quite different from Boston, which is quite different from New York. But
And
like
even-
the entirety of the South all talk the same.
Right.
And
They
even
all talk.
yeah, true. Like if you go to South Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, kind of like there's different little intricacies about the accents. Like New Jersey in particular, every state's gonna have different levels. And like in Jersey, I know the typical one that people will hear like on South Park or whatever would be like, "Oh, it's just a Jersey thing. I'm from Jersey."
Yeah.
No one talks like that.
Yeah.
There's there's like more New York accents. The more north or kind of central, like where I am, you'll get more of the New York, coffee, chocolate, let's go to the park, and I got my dog, I put him in the water, like stuff like that. I always feel like I have more of a newscaster, like an anchor accent. It's non-regional. I can just be anywhere.
So
put me
boring it
anywhere.
works. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just the human embodiment of average across the board. If you go further south, you'll get more of like a Philadelphia accent. So they'll say like, instead of I say, my cell phone, they'll say like my cell phone, like home. They took away my allowance, so they took away my phone. Like I'm like, stop it. It's annoying. Accents are crazy. I love accents. It's amazing.
I find it amazing that people
It's
can
funny, I was,
speak so differently.
At I-62, I was having a conversation with Gary, Knight and Gary, about accents. He's studying in Aberdeen at the moment, and I find Aberdonian, people from Aberdeen in Scotland, they are for me anyway, they're very difficult to understand because they've got their own little sort of subsection of language. So if I was from Aberdeen and I wanted to greet you and say how are you doing, I'd say fit like. That's it's basically if you break it down, it's like what are you like, how are you doing,
Okay.
but it's
That's
like.
not English.
Yeah, I know it's very difficult for me to understand, even me as a Scottish person, to understand Aberdonian. And that's not saying anything bad about people from Aberdeen. That's fine, you can have your own thing, but I find it very difficult to
Ramsey
understand.
Nesbitt, that's a name. I remember.
Ramsey Nesbitt. Yeah, good old Ramsey.
That was wild.
So that's it for our community questions. RDT,
Yeah.
Apple Juice
we
Minute.
know.
This is it. This is your time to shine.
Yes. Suck one, Deviator. I'm doing it. Doing it. Yeah, like I said earlier, now that I got that job, I'm making that corporate America money. I can really kick this thing up into high gear. Or so you would think, perhaps. Now I know Nas is he has an affinity for the Natty Light, the drink of his people, which that's fine and everything, but I don't know how true that is. And there is a cousin, well, more like a direct sibling of Natty Light that I decided to pick up, and I'm really disappointed because I couldn't find a single can of this, and I didn't want to buy an entire 12-pack, but I did. This is a drink that I haven't had probably since I was like 17, like high school, because I would never want to touch it to my lips ever again, and I'll probably just pour the other 11 down the drain immediately.
You bought a 12-pack just for this.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was $9, I think. That's what I paid.
No.
And
It's amazing value.
if you think Natty Light is the bottom of the barrel, we are squeezing, we're wringing out the planks of the barrel to get what is left of Natty Light, hopefully, and then chipping off pieces of the barnacles and mold right into the can and just advertising it as something. What does it say? Ice brewed for a naturally smooth taste. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm really dreading showing this and even putting it to my lips, but it's natural ice.
See, doesn't that can just look like something that someone who's white trash would drink? I mean, I don't think I've ever
Look
like
at this.
that looks like a white trash beer can. Right there.
Anything named ice is definitely not quaffable at all.
It looks like the logo of an ice hockey league. That's what it looks like.
And it
Just-
tastes like their knee pads.
Oh
So
God.
let's there's not much to say about it other than this is what I drank in high school because it's cheap. It's like 6% alcohol, so high school kids get drunk real fast. And it tastes so bad. So do not buy this, and I definitely don't recommend drinking this at home. So natural ice, the dirty cousin of natural light.
Oh my God. I didn't think it could get worse.
It gets much worse.
Oh yeah. You're not happy with that.
Oh man.
Sad.
Sad.
It's just like tears in a can. This is not good.
It's just, what you're tasting is the taste of white poverty. That's what it tastes like. I'm sure. It's white
don't like it.
poverty.
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
like it.
It's,
That's
you're
why I have a
so
job.
far into poverty, right? You're so far into poverty, you need to drink the pain away. But being that you are poor, you can't afford to drink the pain away, so you go with that. That is what that beer is for.
I don't even know what it tastes like, bro. Oh.
Don't they normally put that on the same shelf as the drain unclogger?
Shit. Yeah.
Oh,
It's gonna clean me out. That's for
God.
sure.
I'm gonna have to look up what ice brewed means. Does it mean like they brew it with ice instead of water? Because that would taste like absolute dog shit. I ice brewed. I have no idea what that means. I
I'm
think that's
surpri-
just
I'm-
something they put on the side of the can.
I am extremely surprised that Anheuser-Busch would actually put their emblem on this.
it's
like-
not bad.
Well, they make Budweiser and Natty Light. Like, at least Natty Light is somewhat respectable and palatable, but this is just...
Not good.
And it's been sitting a little bit long. 'cause
Is
I
this
don't
the
go to
worst that
the
you've
fridge for it.
tasted on the Apple Juice Minute so far?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. What
Okay.
else? I need a list. I need...
We need
list
your
of,
Apple Juice Minute list of best and
a
worst.
power rankings.
We need
Yeah.
a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
This is
where's the
100% last
spreadsheet?
place. This is the Cleveland Browns of beers.
I mean, you did say you were pouring the rest down the drain, so at least you'll have clean drains for the next couple of weeks.
True.
That's true. All right, we shall finish the podcast with the joke of the week. I think it's a good way. I like this, finishing the podcast with the joke of the week. It feels right.
Oh, I think I still have the whiteboard in the garage, so I could. I'll put the power rankings next episode.
Yes, do it. All right, joke of the week. I am gonna start the. Are you guys ready? If you wanna watch it alongside,
Sure.
and tell people who are listening what's going on in each of these jokes.
Alrighty.
All right, I'll start it up now. So we're on a hot ring
lap
race.
7 of 7.
Yeah,
Yeah, hot ring
last lap.
race.
Sandy Shores hot ring
First.
race. This is enthralling gameplay from Hot Ring Races
Yes.
that you've come to expect
Yes,
from
it
Hot
is.
Ring
A
Races.
very intricate, track.
Yeah, really good
Yeah,
design.
there's a lot going on here.
It's going for that curb boost.
Oh, he went a
Oh,
bit too much
no.
for it. Yeah.
That's some excellent propping on that wall there that he just clipped into.
Yeah, good
Sent
creation
himself
from
back down
Rockstar
into second.
to do that.
Yes.
Uh,
excellent effort
Yeah,
done by
good,
Rockstar.
good work.
Yeah,
Good work, Rox.
Just clipping that little bit of advertising board that sticks out from the wall. And
You were in first, though, man. Look
he
how
was-
far you were in first by a margin. I don't know
He
why
was-
you were
yeah.
trying to curb boost so much.
He had the win in the bag, first place, and he ended up second.
Bloody Squirrels, a choke of the week regular.
Yeah,
Alright, major
copyright. next.
copyright here. First by a good margin, going on to the final lap. It's a stunt race, I believe. Lap 2 of 2. Been 2 laps. So is this the premium race, maybe?
Possibly.
Who knows?
Could be.
Skipping to the
We'll see.
choke, of course. Always helpful to skip straight to the
That's
choke.
nice. Thanks, Copy.
Oh,
man.
no.
right
he's hit
into
the-
the side of a
Yeah,
pipe.
the tube.
Oh,
Hit the
terrible
tube
angle.
rather than actually going in the tube. And now he's third.
Poor old copyright, always having troubles finding the hole.
Yeah, put some hair around it.
Oh, that's not going well for copyright. And he
No,
ends
it
up.
has not.
Is he going to finish in third place as well? Yeah. History repeats itself. Good job,
What a shame.
copyright. Well done.
It's tough. That's a tough one.
Good job.
And the final one. When you're too
That
fast
feel
for
when
your
you're
own
too
good.
fa-
Yeah.
When you're too fast for your own good.
Okay,
This
so
is
we're on
Ascorbini here.
on the in the Piss was a Dominator on the dual racetrack.
Non-contact.
Yeah. Obviously takes the
He's-
right hand lane, which is the quicker one. I
Oh,
wonder
is
if
it?
it's a premium race.
Probably if it's non-contact.
Yeah.
You're not gonna find random ass people playing non-contact.
Yeah. And then oh no.
Oh, that
no,
was okay.
yeah, that was
a close
fine.
one.
It was all right. It was nicely done.
He's
He's
okay.
alright
He's
that
all
time.
right for now.
Foreshadowing, possibly.
New fastest
Why
lap.
would
He's getting into the groove. He's doing well. Lap 2 out of 2.
I'm stroking his
on the
beard.
duel. He's in first place, stroking that majestic beard. And then
You
this
saw that
time he
first.
doesn't get the
Ah,
checkpoint and flies right over the top of
the
it.
checkpoint placement.
Great
Oh my
checkpoint
goodness.
placement from Rockstar. Has to reverse,
That's very good.
and he
Oh, look, it's first place. Here, and he's passed. Wow. Excellent.
now down into second place. Can't get it back by the end, and
Oh,
again
man.
from first place ends up
To getting flipped off.
And some man in a Duke of Death won.
the guy in the
That's-
Duke of Death one, of course,
Flipping him off.
with a second. His best lap was a second slower, but that was from the first lap.
And he dislikes. He gives a dislike.
Ascorbini dislikes the race, of course. So, Straw Poll, get your votes in for the choke of the week. Which one deserves to be the Choking Hazard podcast choke of the week? I think
Which one is the worst?
we had some good chokes. There were
Yeah.
My choke wasn't deserving, apparently. So
well,
that's where it was.
I think
Oh, you didn't have to mention that.
yeah, I'm gonna show your choke as well as a
Okay.
bonus choke
you
because
can
you
show
were.
mine as a bonus if you want.
Uh,
To preface it, it is against AI, but you know
Yeah.
they're decent AI.
did you submit it?
I didn't know.
No, okay.
It
Well,
was Phil,
that's
I
a
think,
little
who
bit better,
submitted
I
it.
suppose. But in Wreckfest, right? That's what this is.
Yeah.
Coming along in first place out of 24, lap 6 out of 6.
Driving a majestic Ron themed
Yeah.
XJS.
Look at that beautiful machine.
Oh,
You don't see the XJS in games
Oh.
very often.
I like how you went and placed yourself right in the path. You know, you aimed for the vehicle that
Damn
would
it.
crash.
Yeah.
And then
But
you
you
end
get
up
extra
getting
points for it.
on the final
Look, I got
corner.
50 XP for smashing.
Ah, okay, you
Hey,
get
man.
some extra.
Damn
Oh
it.
no! And you went wide.
And went wide on the last corner and lost the race.
Oh,
Second
no.
place.
What actually happened was
I mean, that's
Because
unfortunate.
I smashed into the guy.
Oh.
I smashed into the guy. It put me. I was pretty much the exact racing line, except there was a tiny little bump right on the apex that put me up in the air and just a wee bit wide.
Yeah, this is Hammer's version of listen right. Okay. This is what happened.
Yeah.
No, I'm still saying it was completely my fault. It was completely my fault. Absolutely. No arguments.
Yeah,
there.
I think chokes that are against actual people in proper races always default ahead of AI. But you know, if there's a certain week where there's been some terrible chokes or they're not really worth it, then we can put a choke against the AI in. But yeah, if anybody wants to get your chokes in of the 2 weeks, because really it's 2 weeks between each podcast, the links for all of this are in the description. Lots of links in the description of the YouTube videos, all the show notes if you're listening. If you've been playing a game and you've got wrecked or choked right at the end when you're about to win, you can submit your clip and maybe it'll be in the top 3 for the voting.
Someone else, maybe your favorite streamer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe he's choked. Maybe you can submit a choke on his behalf.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily have to be you.
We're potentially needing some more votes, please. It looks like it's going to be close between a couple of the chokes.
Oh, really?
There's been 67 votes so far, and there's 1 vote separating the top 2.
Okay.
Get your votes in, guys.
Get
Come
your
on.
votes
There's
in. I
200
need to
of you
have a
here.
bit more of a thought of which one is going to be. I feel like we had some decent chokes. Interesting. This is gonna. It's not racing games only. It can be any games for chokes. And if you've submitted a choke previously, but it didn't make it into the top 3, and we voted on it, feel free to resubmit. You know, you can always keep submitting every week. That's absolutely fine. I think I've narrowed it down to 2.
I think I've got my choice.
That's good. So of our audience.
Of our audience, okay. Well, they're all chokes in their own right. They're all proper chokes.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a multiplayer game, Bayman, but it has to mean something if it's a single player game. Like, it has to be something that you can't do again, or something like that.
Yeah. You're about to get a great score on something and you've messed
you're
it
at
up
the
right
end of an endurance race in Gran Turismo 4, for instance, and you somehow choke it and lose. That's an hour of work gone. You know, that would be that would be a
worthy
level
choke.
of single player. Yeah, that would be a level of single player choke that would bring that up to multiplayer level.
So we've now had 74 votes, and there's still only 1 vote separating it.
I think I've made my decision.
So let's be the tiebreaker. Why don't we let us be the tiebreaker?
Let's do it.
If we
I
can,
think I've got my decision. You guys go first. What are your votes going to be for?
Okay, RDT.
Do you want me to read the results first?
No.
No, we need
cut
to
it off. Cut it off
Okay,
there.
okay.
Record take note of whatever it is now, and
Yeah.
my vote is going to be for Mr. Major Copyrights. You know, get in the hole. I think that's going to be my vote because, personally, no offense to Ascorbini, I don't think that's a choke. I don't think that's a choke on his behalf because that's Rockstar.
Yeah, it's just Rockstar being bad.
That's Rockstar being bad, and I'm gonna say Blaze Squirrels. That was just dumb. Why you curb boozing? You're super in first place. You had a chance to curb booze after. You risked it, and you didn't get the biscuit. So you're biscuitless. Copyright just went right off. He missed the tube completely. This giant tube. What are you doing?
What about you, Nos?
I like Squirrels as choke, honestly, because he just suffered for so long in that stupid hot ring race. He suffered for those 7 laps and then threw it all away at the end. So, and now he's just gonna, you're gonna have to go into another one if he wants more money. So, I like his choke. That's my choice.
My vote also goes to Bloody Squirrels because that was the other 2 were just 2 laps each. You know, they went a long slog.
Yeah, exactly.
They were they were chokes and they were a nightmare that you lost out of the lead. But he was what 20 seconds from finishing the race ahead.
Yeah.
7 laps into the race. half a lap to go, and as Addy T said, he was dumb, and that counts as that's choke worthy. You were dumb, and you choked.
All right.
Give us the results.
In third place was choke number 1, which was Bloody Squirrels.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
Issue.
With how many
only 11
votes?
votes, unfortunately.
11. Okay. Is that
wow.
including our 2?
No.
So 13.
Choke.
13.
So. choke number 3 and choke number 2 are both tied at 32 votes each.
Which means
major copyright with Noss's with RDT's extra vote. It's major copyright. He had difficulties finding the hole, so
Find the hole. Get it in the hole. Come
Good job,
on.
Major Copyright. You are terrible. You are horrendous. History has
Bravo.
repeated itself, and you are a worthy winner of the Choke of the Week. You have been terrible.
Congratulations, you're completely terrible. Yeah, you're just the worst.
Although, well done to all of our contenders this
Yeah,
week.
great, great.
Everybody was
Great entries.
shocking terribleness.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Terrible
The
judgment.
other two suck, okay? Major Copyright's a true winner here.
Really close.
He
That's
was
the
the
closest
worst.
Choke of the
Everybody
Week we've had,
wins.
though. To be one vote
Yeah.
in it, and for one of us to be a tiebreaker. We've never had that before, I don't think. So, good stuff.
well, it's actually tied now. It's 32 votes apiece.
After we
For
announce
choke
it,
two.
obviously someone's going to go
And
in
then-
and change it.
RDTs.
Yeah.
No,
Sure,
this wasn't. Yeah, this was happening as you were speaking, RDT.
Oh,
so.
shit.
Good stuff. All right, that'll be us done for this week, this episode.
Yeah.
I like that. I like having that at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like we can just decompress from that, and we don't have any questions that we have to be on
No,
our game about.
that's it.
We just get to react.
Yeah, we're
That's
done.
good.
It was a good
All right,
change.
cool.
I like it. Thank you guys for listening. For those who are listening, thank you guys for watching. For those who are watching, if you've come just for the choke at the end, good job. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Hope that you weren't too disappointed and downtrodden, and now you've got a bad mood because of Noss's terrible life at the moment.
Yeah.
My life is going great, so.
But yeah, RDT's balanced it out.
Forget about
so
Nas.
great.
As a unit, we've kind of stayed the same.
We're like average, yeah. Across the board. We're all
Yeah, someone will go up, someone will be down, and then it just kind of flip flop.
And for those who got to the end, the word for the comments on YouTube is hashtag Rip Bruffy's Racing Corner plus
Spell race car backwards.
spell race car backwards. So Bruffy's hashtag Rip Bruffy's Racing Corner, comma race car backwards.
Backwards.
Backwards has to be spelled backwards.
If it's not, I'll call you out.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Yeah, I want to see that capital at the end of the end of the word. All right, guys. Do you want to say goodbye, guys?
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye bye.
See you later.